record on this. Okay, so me and Nathan Friend here are checking out this MR we started looking into, or we started putting together to replace how we have been manually creating GraphQL mocks, but we would be able to dynamically create them based on the query, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so using the schema, because we already have the GraphQL schema, we can kind of generate fake data that matches the schema we expect and the shape that we expect.
That sounds awesome. Yeah, that sounds really awesome. So I'm gonna try to reorient myself where we were at here. So this is the old diff.
Yeah. So so this used to be a mock data, just like a hard-coded JSON object that we used in the test. So now we're moving to generating it dynamically using our schema. So this is one thing that I know has changed since we last looked at this, is we've moved this file.
We should have got a stuff merged in, and then
yeah, of course.
Probably wouldn't have moved.
But it's okay because it was a weird path anyway. Like this was a very odd thing anyway. So I think it's still somewhere. I think it's just auto-generated.
Well, but that brings up. Well, so what do you think of that? I guess it's kind of like our fixtures, because now we have an auto-generated thing that we're requiring. So I guess just like we have get JSON fixture, maybe we should have a helper for GitLab schema that blows up but I would say it needs to blow up at runtime. That's the thing, is rather than blowing up, we don't want it to blow up at compile time, because then no one's gonna be able to run any test. I think we want it to blow up at runtime. We couldn't get this thing.
Yeah, I totally agree. We need to make sure it's pretty clear how to go about regenerating if it doesn't exist.
Yeah. So that's one step. And then I'm noticing to do, instead of hard coding, let's use we just need to figure out how to inject variables into the query. Oh, what's up with that? What's up with that to do?
Okay. Let's use the real query instead. Oh, you know why? Because we're not using this below to do replace. And I think it's because we needed a way to, this just gives us the query itself, and then we need to like hydrate it with the variables that we're using. And we kind of ran out of time, so we skipped that step. So I think it's probably not too hard. We didn't have time to do that. So instead of using this hard-coded one down here, we'll actually import it and use this one.
Okay. Do we think that that's is that part of just the API, you think?
I don't know what's going to do that for us. If it's like, if Apollo has some kind of like helper for that, or this maybe graphql-mock-factory does.
I'm looking at the API for graphql-mock-factory.
Okay.
Yeah. I think, yeah, so look at this. I'm going to share it in our chat. Let me actually get you to the very, let me get you the anchor as well.
Yes.
Oh, are you sharing your whole screen or just?
I think I'm sharing my whole screen. I just have to.
Did you know you can share control in Zoom now?
Oh, yes, I think so.
Not saying not saying that. I want you to.
Yes, you can have someone else take over move your mouse around and stuff. Yeah, that's handy for when I'm doing like tech help with my grandma. Sometimes it's just faster.
I can see where it's helpful. I'll tell you what. I can see where it's helpful. It's it is things that sometimes I'm a little nervous my software is able to do, but
Yes, yeah, no, you're totally right about that.
did it open up? Oh, it looks like it's the tab next to your new tab.
This is what I haven't seen your chat. I feel really Zoom incompetent today.
Well, I sent you to here, so don't go looking for my chat because you're at the head of that. If you go down to the API reference and keep going down,
reference. Okay.
Go to mock server and keep going down. That type mock server, we're passing in a query, but then it looks like we can just pass in variables there. So I think
nice.
Oh, look, mock override. That's so cool. So yeah, I think we can try using that query.
Okay.
We want to see if the test that imports this is passing, because then we can get some visibility on if we're making good changes or not.
Yeah, good call. Let's go ahead and see if this still works.
I only have one pancake left also, so if we want to switch in a little bit.
That sounds good. Oh, it's not. Oh, we need to run the actual test.
Yes.
Right.
So we'll see. It'll probably be in the same. It'll probably be in a sibling directory.
Probably right.
Oh, there it is. It's right there. This is one that Nico was familiar with, right?
Yeah, right. I think that's why we picked that one. Yeah, looks good.
Great. So let's try replacing line 32's query with the one that we're importing.
It's going to
oh, sweet.
Okay. So yes. And so what was that? Was it just the second?
Yeah. So what do we get if we don't pass the variables? What do we get if it's just on line 8? It's just yeah.
That.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, we're getting lots of errors. Okay.
GraphQL. Yeah.
So let's maybe pass. Does it take an object, or is variables an object? It is. Great. So let's pass full path as the second. Let's pass. Sorry, just like what we have on line 22, we're passing our argument, our variable full path, and we're giving it the value full path.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Here, do you think? Is it?
I think it's
I'm trying to decide if it's here or if it's here. I guess it's here.
I think it's the second argument there. Yeah. Yeah, that's starting to look like some Dart code.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh no! No. Oh man, that was frustrating.
Trying to see what. It doesn't really give me much. It doesn't really tell me what went wrong.
It does not. Can we console log what group package settings mock is?
Oh, there we go. Body must be a string.
Oh, right. So maybe we can do. Maybe we can do lock source body, just like what we're doing on line 18.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, because we don't. this is probably doesn't exist anymore. Because this has changed.
Oh, you're right.
That was the step we were talking about.
wait, but how did it work? How did it work before?
Oh yeah, I wonder if that still exists on my file system or something. So I guess that shouldn't be the problem.
No, but wait. Oh wait. Did you check out your old branch?
Yeah, I did.
So then it is still gonna exist because your old branch is really old.
Is this in? Yeah, I guess this is in source control. I think it was checked in.
So I think it is.
Yeah, so I guess it's.
I think it is talking about line 8. Can we try, instead of doing mock server passing that query that we import, can we try doing lock source body there on line 32? Yeah, just like what we're doing there, but using the query we've imported.
Yes. So you want this thing to go into?
Yeah, without the left-hand side, just the lock source body part.
Oh, and then you think this like that? Oops.
I think so. It's possible because I think that's how they're. I think when we import a GraphQL, yeah.
Oh, wow.
There you go.
Okay, funny. So that's like a.
We're getting this glorious object when we import a GraphQL module, but it looks like this function was expecting a string.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. Okay, I actually thought this thing was a string. I thought it just imported as a string, but it's a little more sophisticated than that.
And I think our jest resolver is resolving all GraphQL endpoints as it's parsing through it this way for
nice.
Whatever reason.
Well, that worked.
Yeah, so that's great.
So that's cool.
And so what I'm kind of thinking now. So can we check out that test and see where this mock data is actually used?
Sure.
Your organization skills are clutch, man.
The dual window usage.
Yes. So okay, yeah. Go down to, so we're creating a mock Apollo. Yeah. Yes. And then we're passing a resolver there. Okay. So
this resolver here, yeah.
Yeah, and then but we're just giving a hard-coded value. But at the resolver level, we actually have access to the variables. I don't know. Okay. Do we want to make line 20 actually a function and pass through the variables? And we can even pass through like I mean, we can pass all of this through. Like, you even see the queries right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right.
And then now maybe it's like super reusable. I don't know. What do you think?
I think I see where you're going. So, yeah, instead of having this just return the data, we're returning a function that will then return the data and allow you to kind of manipulate it in the test.
Yeah, and let me think. Yeah, like you look at line 33 on the left window, and we have line 21 on the right window. Like, that's duplicating itself. We are also not using the real variables that we're using in our tests. We've just hard-coded some variables to generate all this. I kind of wonder if for these Apollo request handlers, we just need to pipe them now to this mock server. And so maybe we can just export a helper and just have one helper that's shared by all the tests, where you just say, hey, give me your query and variables, and we can whatever rest args, and we can return it. And now this module on the right side is very domain agnostic, because it's just other than I don't know what to do with the mocks, but that's its own.
That was what I was wondering too, because this is specific to this query. So that might maintain like a global kind of mock of every endpoint.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. Maybe we also want to just allow the left-hand side, allow the test to be able to create a mock server. So maybe we want to just enable somehow on the left-hand side to say, oh, here's here, like let's rather than, because I think we want to do a little bit of control here to make, because we have a lot of tests. I think the more we can make this easier to adopt, the better. So I wouldn't just want to import GraphQL-mock-factory everywhere. So having a module that adapts that into an easier API is a win, I think.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
maybe,
especially considering like we have to import all this
Yes.
stuff. You don't have to do that every test for sure.
Yeah. So I think having a module that adapts that would be really sweet. But it does seem like with the mocks, there are that's where you can have custom domain stuff. And I wonder if then that means we need to let tests actually, specify. I think we want to have the individual tests specify they're going to create something that they can query off of. So rather than and we'll just create one mock server for them, I think we can and that's also a side effect in our module. Like, let's just create a factory function for them to say, here's the mocks I'm going to use for my test, and then now you can start hitting it with queries. Do you want to try to build that module out? Do you want to take? I think.
Yeah. If you have a vision for this, I'm still a little fuzzy on what we need in the test, like what the test itself is going to look like. If you have a vision, maybe you can drive and.
Yeah, I have.
A clear.
I have a quarter of a pancake, but I'm full, so. So I guess Perfect. I'm done. Yeah, I'm happy to drive. And do you want to share? Oh, I can actually. Let me think. Yeah, let's switch, and I can get the. Oh yeah, let's commit what we've got.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Okay. I'll make sure I can do things locally. Am I doing anything over here? There we go. All right. And friend, GraphQL-mock-factory POC.
It's the one.
Oh, I think I fetched too early.
You might have fetched a few seconds too early.
I wasn't going to catch it. All right, let me share my screen. Boom. Okay. Oh yeah, that's the one. This is the one thing that's updated since
there you
the
go.
last time I
since yep.
Okay. Sweet. This thing is having to remove a lot of changes.
Yeah, that's right. It's a couple months back.
And it was in nope. It was package. Do you remember where it was?
This one right there.
Oh, I think I found it. Right here?
Yep. That's the one.
Awesome. Okay, I don't have GraphQL-mock-factory installed, so none of this is working. But you did ask a really good question of what is this going to look like?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to imagine. Like, what's the end API we're trying to accomplish?
This is I love that question. And so this is my API proposal to you. This is how decisions get made, Nathan. A room with two heads is like, this makes sense to you? Yep. Okay.
Yep. Next decade of GraphQL testing is being developed right here.
Yep. So this makes sense to me. mock. I don't know. I'm just gonna call it mock GQL. We can decide what we think we would call this more often, but I would then say, hey, we're gonna create the mock GQL, and I could pass in my mocks like this. I think this is, I don't know why. I think, oh, is it because yarn didn't finish? Anyways, I'm not going to worry about all those red lines. So I'm kind of imagining this is the call that lets a test do its own specific thing. But then I can go here to my resolver and I can say, we're going to mock implementation. We have our variables and I'm going to pass it to mock GQL. I'm going to pass my query and my variables. And we're good to go. That is what I am envisioning.
Okay. Yeah.
Do you think it's cool, or do you think it's not cool?
Yeah, I like it. I think I'm trying to think if, yeah, I was trying to think if there's a way to like integrate that into the create mock Apollo helper somehow. And,
ooh, man.
But maybe that's going too far. But we could start this way, and then maybe if we might see another way to combine it later.
Yeah, that's a really good question. I wonder. I think it would be hard to put it in here, but I think there might be an abstraction beyond that of like a mock Apollo factory that we could then give a lot more information to, because the returned value, I want this spy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because you're going to want to test on that.
Right. But that's a good thought. I don't know.
Yeah.
But this is what I was gonna start trying to go forward doing. You wanna try it out?
Yeah, let's do that. Right. I was trying to remember, get my head around what this graphql-mock-factory module gives us, and so it will actually fake out data. Like if it's a string type, it'll give us a string. It'll make up a string for it. Yeah. And so those mocks that we're passing there are only if we want to override the default mocks. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. And I also don't know about the determinism of these things.
So yeah, good point.
That's we'll just put a dog ear on that page, and
yeah, we'll just run the test twice, and if they're good, then we're good.
Yep. But let's try it out. So I'm going to create a helper called create mock GQL.
Mm-hmm.
Is that, do you like that? I have a tendency towards really terse things, so I don't like spelling out GraphQL.
Yeah, it's kind of a tricky one. No, it looks good to me. And so the return value of this thing is like an actual piece of data, like a return value of the response, right?
So the return value here is a function that we'll use.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Queries. So this creates the mock server, and we'll return our query function. So
cool.
Yeah, we're gonna create the server, and then we're gonna create our query function, and then we'll return the query function. That's kind of how I'm planning on doing it.
Cool.
So let's go back to here. I'm probably gonna we'll rebase this at some point. So we do have a to do. We need to read this at runtime like a fixture. Maybe have GitLab schema.
Yep. And yeah, one that fails nicely with a nice error message. when it doesn't exist.
With a nice error message. I just did this for the front end integration specs because it would not fail nicely. It would keep trying to go along, and then you'd get just completely random errors. And yeah, it was really wild. So
yeah,
it's important that it knows what to do.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so going back to here where you're going to import then mock server, and I'm getting all sorts of weird ESLint stuff because I guess it cached the old ESLint rules.
Oh, right.
So I'm going to close this.
You can rebase this branch, and then we can try to find that new location of that schema, if that makes things easier.
Let's do it. I'm game.
We'll have to do it eventually.
That's true. Are you cool if I'll save this. It's all. I'll save this. I'm going to create a commit called whip. And I'm going to rebase. I just fetched, so I'm just going to rebase on top of the new stuff. Oh, whip. Okay.
Yeah.
I should have just maybe amended the commit.
I'm glad you have the same standard for work in progress commits that I do.
All the merge changes.
Yeah.
This is. We're just moving this one.
Yeah.
So what I'm actually gonna do is remove it and then re-add it.
Yeah, that's easier. And then the yarn.lock will get generated too.
Yep. So I'm gonna actually remove this. Can I just I can. Let me check out origin master yarn.lock. Is that gonna overwrite you? Oh, nice. Yeah.
Cool.
Oh no, there's more stuff here. Okay.
What? Oh no. Someone else is developing this thing.
Our scope has grown.
Well, we were going to switch to that snippets one. I don't know if
we might do that. So I'm actually going to. Oh gosh, how should I do this? Are you okay if? How do you want to resolve this conflict?
I would say if you want to switch to a snippet related one, maybe just copy paste that existing content, and we'll start fresh from something off master, and then we'll just use this as a reference.
All right. Yes, we might switch to a different one. I'm gonna actually just comment these and commit that, so I haven't lost them in the source control. They still wouldn't be lost technically, but are there still more merge conflicts? Oh, it doesn't like console logs. There's still more merge conflicts? What's that exclamation mark for? Oh yeah, all we've added is this. Okay. Git rebase continue. More whip. Yep, I know. Okie dokie. Yep. So I was trying to be cool and add some. Yeah, so this would be cool. It'd be neat to see if it works for these things. I'm gonna go ahead and. Are you okay if I remove the dummy code that I was?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Okay. Yeah, because none of this is doing anything.
Yep, I think we got a good idea of what we're doing.
Yeah. I tell you what, I am not good at keeping things alphabetical.
I used to care, and now I don't try at all. I figure that's something a computer can do for me if we care about that.
Yeah. Since we introduced the ESLint rule to keep our imports alphabetical, like I'm always tripping up on it.
Yeah, I haven't run into it as much as I thought I would, surprisingly. Because I don't
really. Okay.
I don't ever maybe just subconsciously I do it, or maybe when you auto import it, it does that. I'm not sure.
Oh, so yeah, I don't ever use auto imports. Maybe that's
okay. See, I pretty much exclusively do.
Oh, interesting. Hey Chad. Maybe you're also writing highly decoupled modules that don't have too many dependencies.
Yeah.
We were talking about
I know you're almost over. I just dropped in to say hi. We had a good time.
Don't tell me we're almost over. I gotta
I feel like we're just getting started.
I know. Okay. But we found a pretty cool API, I think, for this helper. So let me close others. Let me do a cool Nathan Friend-esque side by side. Nathan's like, no, I'm not the only person that does this.
What is TTK EE? You have like a different clone for EE?
Oh man.
You don't have to tell me if it's a long story. Just...
It is a long story.
You know, you can tell me later. We'll be talking later.
Oh, okay.
That brings up bad memories for me. I also have that. Those were the dark days when we had 2 repos to.
Yeah, it used to be 2 repos.
Oh, okay. Here's to that.
Yeah.
Luckily, I arrived right after those days. It appears.
I am blown away at what we can accomplish. The fact that we combined those 2 repos. It was incredible.
That's what I did to help out with the database stuff just now. I wrote this script that found all of these links in the code to the old repo, and then 30 of them went in and manually changed them to point to the right place for these database performance allows.
Oh, nice. Wow, that rocks.
I was like, I don't know anything about the database yet, but I can write a script to clean up this data, and so other people can do it.
Oh, that's neat. That's a good idea. So what we are noticing here, and okay. So the API that we're going to expose here to tests is they can create a mock GQL. We will import the right schema, and we will create this GraphQL mock server, and then return a query function that's very nice to use that hits that server. So
I'm wondering a little bit about the naming of these. It's not totally clear.
I dig it. I don't know what to name it.
Yeah, because mock GraphQL is pretty generic. I don't know exactly what thing I'm getting. I think maybe because what we're getting is a query function, right?
Yeah.
Or a response factory or something.
What do you think of calling it GQL? What if we're creating a GQL mock factory?
Yeah, I think that something like that might be more descriptive.
So then I would do something like create GQL mock.
Well, then it obviously needs to be a mock factory.
I know.
We're going down that road, yeah.
I don't want to get too down. I don't want to go too far down here. But what do you think of this naming?
Yeah, I would say there you'd call it the GQL mock factory would be the name of the variable.
Oh, that makes sense.
Because you're creating it.
Yeah. Does that sound cool? Or maybe even do you think I can even just call it GQL mock? Would you be able to?
I think so, yeah, because then you're passing, this thing is creating the actual data that you're going to be testing.
Right.
So, which is a mock. So I guess that makes sense to me.
Okay. So I'm going to, this is that line of code that's doing this. And this is actually not a string. So I'm going to get rid of this because it's not a string.
One other question too, should we name the parameter mocks? It's really overrides, mock override compared, because it'll automatically mock everything by default. So this is we want to go over and above and specify specific things.
Overrides.
Mock overrides or
overrides. I'm also wondering how if there's benefit for us to use the same parameter name that GraphQL-mock-factory is also consuming.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
No, let's stick with mocks. That's a good argument.
Okay. If you feel strongly about changing it, I don't feel strongly either way. So
no.
Okay. So then our query function is gonna take a query, and I'm gonna try to do the nice thing, and this can either be that query object or a string. So we'll convert it.
Yep.
Variables, and then args. I don't know. We'll just pass through whatever.
Just to give us some flexibility.
And so we're going to return query, and the mocked server. I don't know. No, I am going to do that because I need to convert this to a string. So I'm going to do this. Const query string equals. Are you okay if I import Lodash here?
Yep. So I was thinking too.
Oh gosh. Okay.
I can never remember. Some of these tests are like super easy and they're like one-liners, and then other ones are just like super complex. I can never remember which ones are which.
Oh yeah. Is string query. Otherwise it's query lock source body. We're gonna see that one on the dance floor. I know. I'm so lame. Query string variables args, and that's it. That should be it, right? What is your problem? Silly things. So let's try to use it.
Yeah.
Let's try using here where we were doing stuff before. So I wonder if we can. Let's just try to do it for this one. Let me first run this spec. I know it doesn't live here though, so I know that's gonna cause. I don't know why it thinks it lives there. Yeah.
Yeah. So now we have to go find it.
Yeah. Maybe I need to.
It's in some temporary directory, I think.
You know, Mac keeps every time. It's like every 20 minutes. I keep getting these pop-ups show up.
Oh.
I need to upgrade my Mac at some point.
Is that just a that's part of a native thing, or is it like some application that's telling you?
No, it's Mac telling me, hey, we're not pushing any updates to you because you're so old.
That's awesome.
I need to update, but I have a number of stuff I've got to go through before doing.
You're in 10.13? Oh my man, that's old.
I thought it was cool at the time. I don't know. It's still cool. It works. I don't know why we had to upgrade. Everything was fine on my computer.
I feel you. Once everything's working, you just don't touch it.
Yeah.
So I'm just looking at the Graphql-mock-factory. Interesting that so that mock server takes 3 arguments: query, variables, and mock override is the third one.
Yeah.
So actually, I think if we want to line up with that, we might want to call it mock override.
We can. I was gonna just
and you put
through, but I'm fine if we want to be explicit about it, or
right.
I don't know.
No, let's leave it like that. That sounds good.
So I'm gonna create mock GQL. We gotta import this thing from helpers. Let me rename my file now, actually, though, because it's create GQL-mock-factory. That's what we're gonna call it. Is that cool?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that file name matches the import name. Man, something is chugging along. Running file rename participants. Oh my gosh. Oh man. Is this? Oh, and I realize I'm just gonna return this.
Yeah.
I don't have to think of a name for it.
Right.
Okay, so now I'm going to create GQL-mock-factory from helpers, create GQL-mock-factory. Okay. And I want to create GQL-mock-factory. I don't have any mocks to do, so I'm just gonna... Oh, we did have some mocks to do. We were going to do these mocks, right?
For this, yeah, for this test.
So let's see what happens when we do that. I'll do mocks. Oh gosh. Okay, here we go. Cool. All right, and we still okay. All right. What's wrong with you? I thought I ran yarn. Oh no, I removed it. Do you remember?
Oh yeah, we were gonna add it. That's right.
Okay. What's the version it's at right now? Because I like to import specific versions.
0.5.0.
Okay, that sounds like a reliable version.
Yeah, right. Gives a lot of confidence.
It seems pretty cool though. It does seem pretty helpful. And I haven't seen another library that compares to it.
Yeah.
So there was no concept of mocking GraphQL prior to this, or is this like a new way? It seems like something that would have already existed in some form. Why don't you just like recap everything that I missed? Because I showed up,
so I can show you
late.
I can show you the problem right now. The problem is previously we have a whole bunch of for our specs.
One-off mocks.
One-off mocks for responses.
Make like a generic one.
And our but GraphQL is all typed. Like we have the schema. Like you should be able to just generate a mock based on what you're querying. And
okay.
That's what this does.
Yep. I got you now.
Yep.
And it also ensures that if we ever change the schema, these tests will break because currently they're not validated against the schema in any way.
Once you go typed, you never go back.
So true.
So I'm going to...
Unless you get a job working with an untyped language, and then you kind of don't have a choice.
Yeah.
I wonder what that's like. So we still need to require this thing. So I'm going to create a nice little function, and we can move this to its own module, which might be nice. But I'm going to create a function called require GitLab schema. And we will return require. We got to go up to another temp test graph.
Have you found that file on the file system? Because I think it moved, but
I think this is where it goes. Let me double check. Now we're referencing it quite a few places now. Yeah.
Oh, are we? Okay.
This is where it goes now.
Cool.
If it fails, we want to be helpful. We want to say something like
the command you need to run to generate it.
Yep. And I actually did this over. I did this already. So I'm going to copy that. Yeah.
I saw that. That was a good one.
Ideally, this would be encapsulated someplace, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. We'll do this. We'll make it nice. Just not yet. The challenge with encapsulating that is this is you'll notice is a Node.js module because it's run at the at like just integrate like the config startup. And so I think we can import common JS stuff in ES6 modules, but we need to figure out a good place to where this stuff is going to live. That will be definitely be a to do here, but not right, but not today.
I don't see. I'm gonna go do one of the team day things. So
Oh, nice.
say hi.
All right, I'll see you later, man.
Soon.
Bye.
See ya.
Okay, so we just okay. Oh, that's great, but I'm going to disable that line. I'm going to remove this one. We're going to GitLab schema. And what is your problem? Oh, import. No, we're also going to we're going to ignore you too. No resolve.
Oh, because it doesn't exist yet.
I guess so. No unresolved. You know, I think it should be smart enough to know, like, if I've wrapped this in a try catch. Like, that would be next level.
Yeah.
Cool, look at that.
Nice, cool.
Mind blew up. It just blew up.
It's a nice error message.
Yeah. And it's cool that it ran, not that I'm doing this outside of a before each, because this is going to just blow up completely. So now let me run that command. Oh, this is a
now
alphabetical.
Oh yeah, there you go. When Jess goes to, if you like try to run all the tests, is it going to import all the file? Like, will that fail? I'm trying to think if we're preventing someone from running all the tests, or if just the tests that import this thing will fail. If you know what I mean.
What we're trying to do here is just the tests that would import this would fail.
Yeah.
But each one, I think, would fail, and it would be a lot of noise for sure.
And would all the rest of them continue to work?
Yes. Yeah.
That's
the reason, I think, for using require instead of a hard import here. Otherwise, if we did a hard import, you'd have to have this, I think,
before running any. Yeah. Makes sense.
I think.
I think you're right.
All right. So all I've done. Do you have 2 more minutes? Because we're pretty close.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All I've done is call it. Everything is passing. So now what I'm going to do is, here's my query resolver. Is this the only place that we... Oh, I'm realizing now the way this is set up. I kind of wonder if we want to just... I'm realizing how this is set up now, and maybe I can't just replace this. Maybe I should do this. What do you think of doing this?
Doing it right there. Yeah.
You think that's cool?
Yeah, it kind of a little bit defeats the purpose of it being a factory function, since we're only calling it once. Like, we could almost just make it just return the object directly rather than having that extra indirection. But maybe that's just for this test. That's probably
your point. Yep. I hear you. I think there's something nice though if about doing it where we get the actual variables. I don't know why I think that's nice, but I think it's nice.
Yeah.
This should still pass. Let's see if that works. Sweet.
Cool.
Let's see if we can do the next one. And this might be an easy way to start migrating. This might be the easiest way for us to start migrating stuff over. So mutation mock would be interesting. I don't know what's going to happen there.
Yeah.
See what happens.
Try it and see it.
It's not letting. It didn't let me copy this. I don't even know if there's any variables. Let me open up. Let me move your face. I gotta go to mutations, update group packages. It looks like there's an input variable. So maybe I should just do something like input.
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh, yeah, it's not gonna like it because I've already done that. Whoa, man, did not like that.
Okay.
Not at all.
Groups like.
Oh, I was
mock is
expecting
not
it to be a function. Well, I could do that.
No problem.
I wonder why is it why is it because there's this override. That sounds like something that could be solved at the mocks level, like the extra mocks. So where am I calling this function? If I do group package settings mutation mock. No, that's the wrong one. It's this one. Yeah, it's the mutation mock. Here so I may have errors. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think you're right. That's where we use that mocks.
I'm curious. So I do also want to know, what does this actually just look like? It'd be cool if I console log this out.
Mm-hmm. I'm a little curious that library must understand errors because it's not returning errors currently. Like it must view that as a different property. Naively, I would expect it to kind of mock out any property in the schema.
Yeah.
But apparently it's not doing that for
Look how sweet this is. Do you see how it even does? It blew up because you see how it's the variables actually need to match the type. I love that.
That's awesome. Yeah.
And so that's
almost more valuable than the test itself. Like it's just so much automated testing going on.
Yeah, it makes me, it kind of confirms to me that I do think we did the right API here of this is something we need to call at the mock resolver level with the variables that were passed to it. So I'm gonna try that out. So here we're gonna do a mock implementation. Oh my gosh. Implementation. Update namespace. Oh gosh, I'm not doing this right. Variables. And we're gonna call our mock GQL variables. So that's the default implementation. Okay. Let me delete this. Let me delete this. Our mutation mock. I'm gonna try to replace all of our mutation mocks. I know we're at time. You got a little.
Yeah. No, I have nothing after this. So.
Okay. All right. Here's one where we have. Let me. So this way of like passing spies into like, I feel like having complicated factory functions always makes things like this complicated. I like having spies. I personally, my personal preference, I like having spies. Like I know I'm always going to need to resolve a mutation resolver. Like my component doesn't work without that. Like I like having all of that here, and then let me just, and then before each, here's my default, and then I can just override. Some people don't like that, and that's okay. It's okay that we're all different. All right. So I'm going to call the mock GQL thing with the update namespace package things with the variables. Oh, and then over here, I'm going to call variables mock GQL thing with our mutation Is it still called the query? Do you still call it a query in GraphQL land? Is it mutation query?
I don't know. I don't know if mutation's a subset of a query or if it's a separate thing. I think it's a separate thing.
And SQL, it's all queries.
Yeah.
I think. All right, but this one we had special mocking abilities. So I'm gonna just put a little object there. Wow, that's awesome. So now we even get all that type checking that we pass the right types in our input. That's really sweet.
So I'm trying to think, it's really cool that it does that, but is it actually testing anything in our code, or is it just testing that our test is passing in the right variables? Because like,
good question.
Yeah, is there any case where we'd catch incorrect variables being passed in actual production code?
Let's try to. I think so. Check this out. So I just changed this line. Oh, we were already testing that. But I would think that I would now blow up when my input wasn't correct. Or if this, I don't know. For some reason, something's not being called here, though. That's interesting. I think that's the kind of thing that it'd be nice to test against our actual schema. Is, here we've even hard coded, hey, I expect this input, but we don't even know if that's what the backend is expecting.
Mm-hmm.
What's really sweet with GraphQL is backend and front end both have a contract we both need to agree on. And so now we can, yes, I want to still do these assertions. That's really helpful. But now I have another layer of, these are also, none of this, hopefully none of this would work. I would get some errors when trying to use my mock GQL because I'm passing bad types. That would be really nice information. And I think we would get that information. I'm surprised it's not super showing up right now, but I think that might have to do with, for some reason, these calls not working.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what the variables that we're passing in the test itself. So I'm kind of I'm thinking about it like that other library we use to mock out REST APIs, where what's that one called? It's like also Apollo something. But you say here's that REST API I expect, and here's the variables, and if I receive a request to this with these variables, then return this response.
You mean like,
which is kind of what we're doing here?
The Axios mock adapter?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, that's what these resolvers are actually. That's what the Apollo provider, this mock Apollo provider, I almost have a pretty close one-to-one mapping to this mock Apollo adapter, this mock Apollo, and our previous Axios mock adapter. It's very, very similar. This is the query, and this is my handling function of that. And I have found it to be really helpful when I treat it like that, to have like shared variables for like, here's my collaborating endpoints, which I can configure at different levels. Like here's my query. I would say, here's my query resolver, and then here's my mutation resolver. I like having all those up here. But this is all fine too.
So part of the value that Axios mock adapter provides is that it will fail if your production code doesn't make the request with the correct variables, which is not true for our GraphQL thing, right? Like, we're not really testing that.
Yeah, and so that's why usually, if someone is writing a good test using all this, they'll have their resolvers be spies, which they can then say, hey, did I hit the resolver with the right stuff?
Yeah.
That's what
yeah.
that's doing. But it's still all just front end focus and isn't, we still don't know. We know that this is the consistent stuff. We don't know, is this even the right stuff? And that's information we get from the GraphQL schema.
Yeah.
So this is sweet. I think I know why this isn't working though. I think because our query, like, can we hop to our mutation query? I'm gonna let you go, I promise. But I think we're mocking out errors. I think we're.
Oh, okay.
I think
So
that's why it's not saving successfully.
Yeah.
And so we get to use our mock override thing, which sounds cool. So, or maybe we can even do that here. So maybe in package settings, or like maybe in here, errors, we could say it's, I don't know. You want to see if that does anything?
Yeah, try that.
Nope.
Update namespace. I wonder, does it have to be under some kind of mutations?
Maybe it does.
Like namespace.
Maybe it does. Let me see if I can. I'm gonna open our GitLab schema. Update namespace. It is definitely like a mutation thing, I think.
It's in something, yeah.
Oh, and we get back this thing, an update namespace package settings payload. That's what we would do, I think.
So that's what we're mocking up.
I think that's going to be the ticket. Oh, okay. Man.
Well, that's wait, no.
Oh man.
So that didn't do it.
Did not do it. Oh well. I was really hoping that would do it. I am going to yeah, I don't know what its problem is. I'm gonna work on it a little more, but if you gotta hop off, feel free to. Unless I really appreciate your company, but
yeah, no, I'll hop off at maybe the half an hour mark. I have a little more time.
This is the one that's failing, right? The show success alert.
Yeah.
Okay. Emit settings. I think I want to group settings app. I think I want to add something to here. Is it possible that it's not working because it needs this thing to be wrapped in data? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let's try that out, I guess.
Yeah.
So
can you log what it's getting in there and you can see? Yeah,
let me go. Sorry, this happens to me when I open up two windows. I usually just end up
just working out of one. I do that too. Yeah.
Sometimes I open up things in Vim down here and I completely forget I'm in VS Code and I'm just at a very small Vim screen. Let me console log an error because I bet we're getting an error and just not seeing it. We sure are.
Did not turn a mock list. So it'd be nice to, like, this error that we're running into, other people are probably, unless there's something wrong with our API or our helper function, but other people are going to run into this. It'd be nice if we could somehow surface this.
Did not return a mock list. What does that mean?
Path empty. Use mock list function. Lists must be mocked with the mock list function. Interesting.
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay. Because, That's interesting.
Okay, so we have some. We can either import this and handle it, or like we can import this at our individual test level.
Mm-hmm. So we can't just pass an array. We have to actually call this mock list thing.
Yeah.
Let's just try that and see if that works.
Okay.
And then we can decide how to abstract that.
Well, as a very iterative step, create GQL. What do you think of just passing it along like this? Like we can just import it from the same thing. You're cool with
that's
that?
probably good.
Okay.
Yep.
Let's do that.
Then we don't have to ever import Graphql-mock-factory in our tests.
And then figure out where it lands in the alphabetical.
That's right.
Mock list.
That's really unfortunate that it does that. I wonder why it has to do that.
I kind of wonder. Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. I kind of think we can create an abstraction. I think it's doing this because if I say, oh, we're going to have 2 of these, it's going to create those. Like, so I don't have to create them. I think that's what's happening here.
Mm.
It doesn't mean I like it, but I think that's what's happening. I think that's what's, it's kind of really helpful, but at the same time, it's like, oh, we're really using this thing now.
Yeah.
Didn't base mock for this did not return a mock list. What are you talking about? Get out of here. Use mocklet to mock lists and base mocks. That's what I'm told.
It's also suspicious it's saying for path empty string. I'm trying to think what it's trying to tell us there.
I don't know. Maybe a mock. Maybe instead of a base mock, a mock override would be better. Oh, maybe it doesn't want it to be a function. Maybe it's actually just like that.
Hmm.
Request handler. What's wrong with you?
Let's return a promise received object.
Request handler must mock Apollo client mock. Oh, right. Oh, right. Do we want to just make these things promises? These are going to have to be promises.
Maybe. Yeah. Because they're going to...
Do you think we should... I mean, this is the context we're going to use it in. But obviously not here. I don't know.
Right. Yeah, that's tricky.
All right. Yeah, this is giving us lots of good problems to solve. I'm gonna wrap this right now.
I guess we could always do, instead of mock implementation, we could say jest.function.mock resolved.
But then we can't get the. But then we can't. We
can't use the functions.
Yeah. And I kind of wonder if maybe. Don't laugh at me. I kind of wonder if. Well, maybe instead of returning a. Maybe what we could do. Okay, here's an interesting idea. Yeah, give me.
I still am not. I need to think about this a bit more, but I'm still not convinced that those variables that we're passing in the spec are actually testing anything other than that we're passing the right variables in the spec.
In what line?
Let's see, where we're in.
Here.
Yeah, there. Like we have those variables, but what are they actually? Like, how would we ever use them, or how would they be used to fix errors or to catch errors?
So if I replace this with just an empty object, I think it's going to fail.
Mhm.
Yeah. Object input of required type was not provided.
Okay, so it's just we need it.
So then if I say, oh, here's my here's my input, and I just it's still gonna fail because it has to match that type. So
Yeah.
that's a pretty sweet win, I think. But I also think these variables, something tells me they may also show up here in these functions.
And they can kind of do dynamic things based on.
I think so, and that's
In the
kind of
test.
cool too. So but I'm assuming that should be possible, but I don't know.
Yeah.
But I do kind of wonder to get this. I was wondering, what if we have mock GQL? What if we did a generate and a generate async or something like that, or like what, so that we can
Yeah.
it's easier.
One that wraps it and one that's just normal.
Yeah. What would do you like that?
Yeah. Would we also need to generate a rejected promise version of it?
We probably would. So how would you want to? What function? What would you call that?
Maybe is it like dot resolved and dot rejected, or
I like that.
something like that.
We can even be really fancy and just add that to this function too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like the function itself could be that result.
All right, that's fancy. All right, let's do that. I still can't think of a good name for this. Now I have to name it. I'm gonna call this. Don't laugh at me. I'm gonna call this query arg. Okay, but now we're thinking of doing that rocks. This is the same thing as doing promise resolve of query.
Query. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Just like that?
I think so, yeah.
Maybe we should actually do resolve and reject, because that's the promise, right?
Yeah. And then there might be occasions where, well, no, I guess not. I was thinking maybe if we need an unfulfilled version too, but if in that case you wouldn't have the data yet. So.
Oh, that's an interesting idea. Yeah. Okay, so then I can go back to here, and instead of doing all this, I could do my mock GQL dot resolve, which I realize now is conflicting with resolver, but
oh yeah. Yeah.
We'll just put that in a bucket. But cool, sweet.
Okay, so that passed. Nice.
Yeah, and so let me get rid of my fit. Oh yes, and other places I was doing this where another namespace package settings. This needs to be resolved. And here, this needs to be resolved. And here we're doing we're gonna override a mock, I think. I think we're gonna override errors with a mock list of 1. Hopefully that just works out of the box without trying. Nope.
GraphQL input.
Oh, is my override mocks gonna override all the mocks? I thought it would just
kind of like add to it.
Yeah. Well, what was the why are we passing bad regex into it? Or maybe that was the goal. So I'm gonna fit these. Let me focus on those. I know we're at time, but but it's been so
Oh,
much
okay.
fun.
I know, we're so close.
So I want to actually just console log. What do I get from the mutation resolver? Or even let me just console log in our app here. Oh, I am doing that. We're not getting any errors. So my mock thing was not doing at all what I thought it would be doing. What
did you do the dot rejected there, or are you doing dot resolved?
Oh, I was doing resolve here. So that's what we want to do, I think. We do want to resolve this, but it has errors.
Okay, because the other place where you had logged it was in a catch. Are we just relying on Apollo's
that is
ability to pick up on that?
I think that's this.
Oh.
This, because both of these would cause an error if the
Gotcha.
promise was rejected or if it was resolved with errors. Cool. I think. Here's pass a mock override object. Oh, I think with mock overrides, you don't have to do this whole base thing. I think I can just do something like errors. I don't know. It's gonna like that, but I think I can just do something like that. No, clearly I can't just do something like that. Yeah, I didn't like that at all. No. All right. Pass a mock override. Here we specify viewer.firstname. The other response field will be generated. I need to, whatever is my root name here, I think. So I need to do like this, I think. I think it's gonna be something like that. Oh, yeah!
Hey, there you go. Cool.
That is cool. We're so close. All right. Well, it's kind of time.
Yeah.
So, dude, thanks so much, Nathan. This was awesome. I'll push it.
Yeah, you bet.
I'll create a new merge request too off of this. And yeah, I'm feeling this. There's something here. I think there's some quirkiness we've obviously ran into, but I think this is gonna allow us to remove a lot of this stuff and give us a little bit more test safety. So that's exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. For free. Like, it'll just do it for us, which is great.
Yeah. All right. You know what? I'll talk to you later, man. Take care, Nathan.
Sounds good. See you later.